What's up, T-Tribers? Welcome back to the pod. I am reinvigorated, is that the word, from my trip to Paris, and I'm so excited for this week's episode. I have my coworkers, Brianna Chickenfry and Grace O'Malley on. We get into a lot of conversations from like the difference between millennials and Gen Z to their crazy lives on social media. We talk a little bit about TikTok drama. We talk about mental health. It's just like a whole slew of things. And my favorite kind of episodes are just the ones that are girl chat. But before we get into this week's episode, I do want to remind you guys that today's episode is presented by Mamitas, and I have a special giveaway happening for you guys. So Mamitas is looking to gift a lucky listener a merch box of your own to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. So you could head to their Instagram and comment what you will be drinking the Cinco de Mayo. Hint, hopefully it's Mamitas. And that will give you a chance to win. So tag your friend for another chance, an extra little entry to win. And hopefully you get it. They make the best merch. I always wear the hat that they gifted me. And just as a reminder, it comes in 6 delicious flavors. We have mango, pineapple, paloma, lime, plus the 2 new flavors that I absolutely love, the spicy marg and the tequila sunrise. And I think tequila sunrise might be my new favorite above paloma. As a reminder, they are super light, refreshing, naturally gluten-free, and have less than 1.5 grams of sugar. So don't forget to go to their Instagram at drinkmamitas to enter the giveaway. And I'll also be posting it on my Tea with Publicity account if you guys need to reference it somewhere. Okay, let's get into this episode. So I have Gia here with me today. Hello.
Hey.
And we're going to chat. So I was feeling last week when I came home from Paris, like I was on a freaking high. I was like, I felt so good to have taken a vacation finally, and a real vacation where I feel like I was really unplugged. Like, yes, I was producing content, but that's not vacation for me. Like, I could produce content with my eyes closed because creating videos is something I enjoy. So for me, it's like fun. And I just felt so reinvigorated. And then last week, I started the week off strong with jet lag, like feeling amazing. And then I got a freaking 4-day migraine, which is like the longest I've had a migraine for. I always get hormonal migraines, but this was like unlike anything. And I don't know if it was maybe the mix of like getting my period with the jet lag combined, or maybe like from being so high up, what's it called? You know, like the altitude. I don't know if that just something like really completely threw me off. And today's the first day that I feel like pretty normal. And I also feel like I'm talking a million miles per minute because it's the first day that I've really had coffee in a few days. Because I'm doing this new thing called cycle syncing. And I want to have someone on the podcast to talk about it. So maybe next week, you guys, that might be our episode. But basically, there's this whole like thing around women's health where all of the studies, like a lot of the studies that are based on health have been tested only on men and not women. And that's why there's not that much like evidence to support claims around women's health, especially hormonal health. So I got this book called Flow Living by Alyssa Vita. And I started reading it. My friends recommended it to me. And it's all about like women's menstrual cycles. And basically I'm just going to like do my best to kind of explain this a little bit, but there's 4 different parts of your cycle. So you have like the menstruation phase, the follicular phase, the ovulatory phase, whatever. There's all these phases. And basically the science is that if you eat and work out in accordance with your menstrual cycle, you'll live like an optimal health. So you'll not have anxiety, you won't have stress, or like at least these things will be minimized, and you'll be able to like lose weight and be healthy because you're eating in line with your cycle. So I've been doing all this research into it, and I've started doing it, and like I'm just trying to make it a lifestyle so it becomes second nature. So like today I'm like, there's certain foods that you could eat, and you don't have to just limit yourself, but you should focus on those food groups like poultry and certain nuts, and then in certain parts of your period you should have more fat, or you should do like more intense workouts, or during when you're menstruating you should like do yoga. Like it just tells you how to act in accordance with your menstruation. So I'm on this new journey, guys. I have a burner account on TikTok called It's Alyssa Amoroso, and I think I might document some of this there just for like accountability for myself. But I just wanted to let you guys know that that's what I've been doing. And I'm hoping that will help with my like hormonal headaches and just like completely help with all of these symptoms and stuff. Sorry, were you going to say something?
No, I just had a question.
Yeah.
So you like eat healthy food when you're on, like, I'm confused.
So, okay, I have a chart. And again, I want to have a professional
So it's like
come
different food for like different weeks?
Yes, but it's not as like, it sounds really intimidating at first, because at first I was like, I don't want my entire life to be like wrapped around my period.
Yeah.
But then when you look at it, it's really not like super hard. So right now I'm in my follicular phase. So it's saying you could eat like artichokes, broccoli, carrots, any type of lettuce, green peas, zucchini. That's like the kind of vegetables. Okay. So like if you have a salad and it has a vegetable that's not listed there, I don't think it's going to kill you. That's what I want to ask the professional. But it's telling you that during this time, like for your hormones, focusing on those certain foods are really good for you to like live an optimal way. Okay. And then like under fruits, like avocado, citrus. So I had a grapefruit this morning with my breakfast. Right. So like I'm just trying to eat some of the things on the list. Like I had eggs for breakfast, which is on the list, which I normally do. But then I incorporated like a grapefruit in. So it's just, and it's saying like during this stage, like you really could have nut butters. So like I'm going to have something with like almond butter later. And to my understanding, it's just like a loose thing that you could follow.
Interesting.
To help you like stay on track with your like rhythm.
Interesting. I haven't had a normal period in like 3 years.
You should try this.
Yeah, I know, but like I'll like, my like cycle is so not like,
well, that's
linear, I guess you could say. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But that's their whole thing in this book that I'm reading. It's like
it helps like even you out.
Yeah, they're like, you shouldn't be having these issues.
Right.
And then there was all this like this other thing it was saying, I was reading, it was like if you're irregular, then like first you should do this detox and like it will get your hormones on track, and then do this. And there's all these things, and it's like information overload. And I've been following resources on TikTok, and like I really believe it because it's people that have devoted their life to this, being like, there's not enough information around this. And doctors think that the way to solve it is just to like throw you on birth control, but they're just sticking a Band-Aid on the issue. Yeah. You're not actually healing your hormones. Yeah. So I'm just like, I really believe in the research, and I'm like in it. Like I'm really in it. And that's why I want to have a specialist come on, because I feel like it's one of those taboo topics that now people are starting to kind of cover. So yeah, we'll get someone on and we'll ask all our questions, because I have a million. Because even I don't know if I'm doing it correctly, because it's just like I'm self-taught.
Yeah, I would love to talk to someone. Like, I don't know if I mean, I probably should just go to a gynecologist, but I would love to like know what a professional thinks about like birth control.
Well, so I want to go to a naturopath, which is my gynecologist, basically, because I have a fibroid. She was like, the only thing you could do for your fibroid is be on birth control. And birth control makes me insane. And when you talk to these other people that are like more take natural approaches, they're like, oh no, you can naturally heal this. Oh, you could, do XYZ and change it. So I want to go to a naturopath, and what they do is like they'll run like a full blood panel of your hormones and tell you like what you need to do to get everything like running at the right, like running the right way. Yeah. So yeah, there's so much to like, we'll uncover it all. Yeah. But that's what I've been like down spiraling. I have my like highlighter, and I like take out my book and I like highlight the parts that speak to me. And it's just like really crazy. So I've been on this like path these last few weeks of just like really digging into all this research, and it's a lot. Another thing that I'm really trying to focus on for myself is not letting other people take my energy. And that psychic that I ran into in Paris had said it to me, and another psychic had said it to me. They kept saying to me that like one of my strongest qualities is like my desire to help people and to be empathetic, but it's also one of the qualities that like fucks me in the end, because I'm like giving too much to people that aren't reciprocating, or they're just draining from me. And I do find myself doing that sometimes. Like I'll have people from social media reach out to me, and I just give and give and give. Like I give them advice, and I give them my time and my energy, and I help them and I walk them through things, but they're not there for me the same way. And like I just kind of had this realization when I was in Paris that I was like, I need to stop doing this. Like everyone kept messaging me, like comment on the Tinks drama, and I was getting in this point where like I was being pettier. Like I was calling people out on Instagram. I like got in a feud with that other podcast. Like I was getting in this point where I was like in this like fuck it era, which I'm still in, but like I don't want to be that person who is even letting these people like occupy space in my brain, because it weighs on me. Like I go to bed at night and I'm thinking like, oh, why does this person hate me for no reason? Like I didn't do anything to them. And I'm like, why do I care? Like, why am I like letting these people dictate my happiness and like my life? And I just believe like you have to stay true to yourself. And like even with the Tink stuff, you know, I'd heard things for years, and I always think like things will present themselves, and like I don't need to hold anyone accountable for anything, because we all end up showing ourselves like in the end somehow. And by the way, that's not to say she's an awful person. I don't know her personally at all. And I don't believe in cancel culture at all. And I don't think it's right when the entire internet flips on one person. But I just, all that to say, like, I'm in this point where I'm like, I really want to be mindful about like who I'm giving my energy to. And I want to mentor people and I want to be helpful, but I need to do it in a way that feels good for me, and not in a way that like leaves me feeling depleted and not appreciated. So I'm working on that. And let's see what else I have here. It's all like very spiritual stuff. The Indian man from Paris, like it might have been a hoax. So I don't know. I'm sad about it. So you edited the pod. So did you hear the whole story about the guy that read me on the street?
Yeah.
So he basically, I Googled when I went, okay, in my gut, when he read me and he like opened that piece of paper and had all those answers, like it was the most astonishing moment of my life. Like I was like flabbergasted, like truly flabbergasted, and felt so blessed, and I was crying. And then later that night I was trying to make sense of it, because I think when things like that present themselves to you, you search for answers because it feels so like otherworldly that you're like, there has to be a logical explanation to this. So I start Googling like Indian man writing your future on a piece of paper, and this whole thread pops up about these women in Australia who are being conned by these Indian men that are doing the same thing. And then like people start popping up in the UK, and people start like, the whole thread is people talking about their own experiences. And the one thing that I'm confused about, no one's arguing that these men have an incredible talent, but because they're asking for money at the end of these readings, people are saying it's a hoax. But no one's arguing that what they did was incredible. So part of me's conflicted, because I'm like, maybe they are really talented and this is how they make their money.
Yeah, I'm confused. Just because they ask for money doesn't mean that it's like
that's
fake.
what people. Yeah, but I think people just want to not believe in this stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. I still believe, because you gaslight yourself into being like, did I let the paper out of my hand, and did I drop it and he slipped a new one? Like you start gaslighting yourself into being like, I wasn't holding it tight enough and he slipped a new one in my hands. But I'm like,
did he touch you at all?
I know I was holding it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like
the only thing is I was holding it in my left hand, and he goes, it has to be in your right hand. And I switched hands. But how would he have in plain sight gotten it? I remember going like this.
Yeah, I don't know.
How would
it's like a magician.
I know.
Yeah.
Is it a magician?
I don't know.
Like, I'm sitting there with him.
In all honesty, shit like that, especially in like Paris, like I feel like 99% of the time it's something fake. Because like, there's just so many scammers in Paris. It's actually insane how many people are scamming.
Don't like get. I was talking to my therapist about it, and she was like, people keep showing you like in your life that these signs that there's spiritual things happening, like stop questioning it. Like if you want to believe it,
yeah, exactly.
Like she was like, stop looking for the logical like explanation and just believe that these things are happening to you.
And it's not like this guy was like, oh, you have 10 days to live, like your life is going down the drain. Like he just guessed what your favorite flower was.
He also reiterated things that another psychic had just told me.
Oh, okay.
That's what was crazy. Like I believed him. I still do.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
but
that.
I'm just in a spiral because someone's like, oh, a documentary's coming out on this.
Oh, really?
Like, it's going to be like the next Tinder swindler.
Yeah. You're going to be on the thumbnail.
No, but I still, like, and this is the other thing in those threads that I was reading, other people were commenting being like, yeah, you know, they asked me for money, so I bet it's a hoax, but they guessed my, like, mother's middle maiden name. Like, it's too specific. Like, people are... No one's denying the information is like literally insane.
Maybe they have like a camera behind you when you're writing it down, and
no, it was just like a guy.
Was there anyone standing like near you behind you, like
so
peeking
alone
over your shoulder?
He was so alone.
Yeah.
Like it was so, and he was so unarmed. Like he was so approachable.
Yeah. That it sounds believable to me.
I don't know, but I needed to tell you guys because I had a few people message me being like, I don't want to burst your bubble, but like this might be a scam. And I was like, let me be upfront, but I'm choosing to believe it because either way, it was really pivotal. And some of the stuff he told me is like what I've taken with me.
Right.
Like he told me, he was like, you're giving your energy to too many people. Like you need to, and he was saying all this shit to me because I was like kind of like feuding with someone, and he was like, is someone like mad at you right now? He was like reading these situations perfectly. And either way, he told me stuff that like made me feel good. So it was good life advice at the very least.
Take it. Yeah, just believe what you want to believe.
I'm about to text him because he gave me his number and be like, what are you?
He gave you his number?
He was like, you could WhatsApp me and I'll tell you like gut checks for life.
Interesting.
Oh, guys, what is my life? Okay, we are going to get into the interview and then stick around to the end because we're going to do Ask Alyssa, and then also I want to talk about the Abercrombie and Fitch documentary and a little other tea. Okay, here's the interview. All right, guys, I am here with Brianna Chickenfry and Grace O'Malley. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you.
Hello. I have a publicity hat on. It's vintage merch.
Is this like, was this drawn today?
Well, so I was like, I need a hat because I need a shower and I didn't have time to do that. So I found this hat in my closet and I said, why wouldn't I write publicity?
I love that for us.
Yeah.
And I have that same hat as you.
Oh, yeah, I love this hat, but I wish I had the same hat on.
I know.
That would have been really sick.
If I had to, I would have wrote one out for you.
Okay, so I feel like you guys don't know this, but like in my head, when I like watch your antics, I'm like, oh, those are like, you guys are both separate versions of me at your age. I'm just the merged version.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you two combined.
You're the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I watch you guys going through all your antics because you're younger than me, and I'm just like, oh yeah, no, like I've done that too. And even Brianna, we were texting, all of us, we were in a group chat with Joey the night that I was out with Joey.
Oh my God, yeah.
And we were like trying to get you guys to come out with us, and you were like, I can't, like I just like blew up my friend group. And I remember writing back being like, that's what your 20s are for.
No, literally that night Alyssa texted us to come out, and that's the night that I fucking got caught kissing, or I kissed the boyfriend the day before. It's a long story. Listen to my
For
podcast.
my followers, that don't know, abridged version, Brianna kissed a roommate's roommate.
Yeah, I kissed
both of them.
I was talking
Both
to
roommates.
a guy, and then I kissed his roommate.
Yeah.
And which was / best friend, and he walked in on it. And then the next day, Alyssa was like, come out, and I'm like, I have to deal with a lot of shit right now.
And I was like, you're fine, because like if you don't hook up with someone, if you don't hook up with every person in the friend group,
exactly,
you're not in your 20s.
That's what I figured out.
Because like that's the thing with hindsight. Like once you have like a few years on you, you are like, oh no, like that was
even 3 weeks later, I'm like, that like wasn't a big deal.
No, it really wasn't.
It just
was the end of the world
it.
at the time.
Yeah, it felt like the end of the
It's
world.
like high school. Like you think everything's the end of the world.
Yeah, so I'm
Same in
watching
your
you
20s.
guys go through all these things, and I'm like, I know, because I also felt that was the end of the world at that point in my life. But then in hindsight, you're like, no, that's just what happens. I feel like you're almost almost living your college years just in New York City right now.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, I never went this crazy in college, really.
I know.
So
I feel like it's even.
I think it's a little crazier.
That's what's happening though, because you dropped out. What was your deal?
I dropped out as well.
Yeah, exactly.
She dropped
So
out,
you're
I said,
technically. You jump, I jump.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's kind of silly the way we operate.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like you're just doing that, and I watch like all these TikTokers now that are like in college or dropped out, and they live in New York, and I'm like, it would be a playground for me at that age.
And I also think because of the pandemic, we
Yeah.
have a little room to be a little crazy.
Yeah, because we had when we moved to New York,
years.
it was full pandemic ghost town.
Oh,
we
that's-
didn't have friends. Like we were just cooped up. You couldn't go out. So now we're like,
Yeah,
going
that
fucking
sucks.
apeshit. Yeah.
So we
Wow,
had
that
some, like,
really
making up to
sucks.
do.
Yeah. And then right after that, we went into the tour life and then New York.
So I feel like you guys had like your college years stunted, whereas I feel like I aged in the pandemic. Like I went from 20s to 30s in the pandemic
Yeah.
years.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I missed my last years of like my 20s.
That fucking sucks.
I know, I can't explain it. Like all of a sudden now everyone moved out of the city and like got houses and
Yeah,
ha-
because it's
and
like
I'm
right when you turn 30, you think you have to like change
yes,
your
and I'm
life.
like, where did the last 2 years of my life go? Like
Yeah.
it's so weird.
that actually really sucks.
it's really
Sorry.
weird. No, it does.
I'm like, that fucking blows.
But all my
that
friends that
fucking
live in the
blows.
city and stayed in the city are also single, like
Yeah.
in the same stage. It's either you stay in the city single or you like have 4 children by now and
Yeah.
you're like in
There's no in
the
between. I feel.
suburbs. What do you guys think about, like, because I have strong opinions about the people that like flocked to Miami during the pandemic, and I'm like, it's gotta suck now that things are opened up.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
know. I for one fucking hate Miami. I think
can't
it's
stand Miami.
disgusting.
I like Miami. I can't live there.
I can't live there. Well, see, so when you're walking out of a nightclub and it's 10 a.m.,
Yeah.
it's like, what am I doing? This is disgusting.
Exactly.
I can't. At least here it closes at 4, and you're like forced to like at least
Go home.
go
Go to
afters. But like afters, at least you're not walking out of a strip club at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you walk out of
with your shoes in your hands.
what's it called?
Fucking
11.
11, yeah.
And you're like so
You have
disoriented.
no idea what time it is because it's pitch black and there are no windows. They keep you in there and they pump oxygen.
They
in.
definitely pump oxygen.
And you
And
are
they give
alive.
you Molly
in there.
water.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's so but I feel like I think about this and I'm like, those people that just like impromptu like moved to a weird place during the pandemic. Now that it's
I almost
over,
was one of those people.
No, I'm like, thank God.
I know. I literally wanted to move to Miami and I look back and I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
But like, I feel like they're like, yeah, no, I still love it here. I'm like, you could just admit that you want to come
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, just come back.
I know Miami's still sick. I promise.
Yeah. You're like dying. I love partying.
They have like one nail left on
Yeah,
and like an
literally.
eyelash.
I would be disgusting in
Miami's
Miami.
only cool if you're rich.
That's what I always say. Yeah. It's only cool if you're like.
or if
billionaire.
you have a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
You know, and
Have
you
you
could
ever
like
dabbled into sugar daddies?
no, but I get
Oh, you have your real daddy is a sugar daddy, right?
No, I wish.
Oh, okay.
Like my father.
Yeah.
I wish.
Daddy.
Not anymore.
That was gross. Oh.
No, I see. My issue is that like I got a message this weekend from someone like their handle was like simp for you, and she was like, I really want to pay you. And one time, my last message was just me sending him my Venmo.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going down this road again. Like, I don't have Cash App. Like, either
I
you're
know.
gonna PayPal me or you're scamming me. So
it's always
a
get the
scam.
Cash App.
it is a scam.
I don't think there's any real ones, and if you catch a real one, I don't know how
No,
you got so lucky.
I asked
know.
people. I would love a sugar daddy,
Me too.
but I'm not
Not if
trusting
I have to
enough.
see you though. Like I'll message you.
My fear is like I would fall in love with the sugar daddy.
That's insane.
Like my fear is I would have an emotional relation because it's like an emotional relationship.
Yeah, 'cause
and
you're,
I'm
like,
scared
messing
I'd
with
become like dependent on this like fake rich old man.
I mean, is that the
What's
worst
so wrong
thing?
with that?
That's not like doesn't sound like the worst thing ever.
Because it's like you're not going to actually amount to like you're not going to be together. So like
Yeah.
you're just wasting your years with this like
With the
old
creepy
guy.
old
No,
guy.
you just keep them on the side.
It's like you have a few Chanels, but you have also like this old man.
Yeah, when I was like down bad and I was trying to figure out if I, before Barstool, I was like, how long can you be an escort? And could I do it? I was really thinking about
what
it.
did you, like, I know that you've done some desperate things for money.
Yeah, no, yeah, I like that segue. That makes me look real good.
I was going to say, like, what did you consider doing, like, a feet OnlyFans or anything?
Yeah, but who wants to see these clonkers? I have like Freddie Flintstone feet, and if you get that reference, those are not cool.
Yeah,
puppies.
so does my mom. She talks. That's what she
Me and
calls
your mom
them.
should text about that.
But like I feel like sometimes I think I'm like, a picture's just racking in a few extra like $1,000.
Yeah.
Just like posting your feet.
It's just passive income.
I mean, I wish I could just dump them out, honestly. Like,
I'm really thinking about dumping them out. Well, you guys see that Bad Baby, you guys know Cash Me
Yes.
Outside girl. She made $45 million
I know.
on OnlyFans this year.
is it too late to jump into the OnlyFans?
I think
realm?
it's not too late for anything.
I think that's like my nothing against OnlyFans.
no,
but
like if you fail.
if I fail, then
Yeah.
that's where I fall.
Well, I always think that I'm like, okay, so like if I get fired tomorrow, like I'll start like a Patreon, and
Yeah.
like you know, you come up with
Yeah,
these like
you have
weird
your backup plan.
plans in your
Yeah,
head.
and it's like an anxiety thing too. Like you're like, oh, I gotta have this.
Oh,
in the
I
back of my
spiral.
pocket.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
only reason I only don't want to do OnlyFans is like my family. That's
Same.
just the one thing. I'm like, dude, my parents are gonna know my tits are out there.
Yeah.
But
for
that's
everyone.
the same. That's how I felt about like being truthful and honest on our podcast.
Yeah.
And
I know.
we just went out and we did it, and I'm like, sorry guys, just
Well,
don't listen, I guess.
when I started here, I like said to my mom and dad, I was like, "This is a different beast than like my podcast before, and you're not gonna like some of the stuff, and like I am an adult, and you just have to trust it." And
I gave my
they-
mom the same pep talk.
and they never said a word. And I even said to my mom, like recently, I was like, Mom, do you think people are judging me for posting my Sunday Scansy stuff? Like I
Yeah.
post like scandalous stuff. And she was like, I don't give a fuck what people think. And I was like,
mama.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Mama with the
So,
feet
like-
and the fat.
so like they get it, you
Yeah,
know? And they come around.
Yeah, no, of course.
My parents don't listen to my podcast, but they like watch all my TikToks, which are I would say maybe worse sometimes, pretty
Yeah.
vulgar, and they don't give a fuck. They used to be like, what? They didn't understand that I could make a living off of this shit.
Yeah.
And then once I started paying all my own bills, they were like, whatever, if you're paying your own bills, good for you. I don't really care.
No, I totally get that, because at first you're just like doing it for what, and then when you
Yeah.
could actually start making money off of it, you're
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm like extorting myself, not
Yeah.
extorting, like whatever,
Yeah.
extorting my life stories
I
for at
know.
least like money or
When
something.
I first started, I was like, I'm just tarnishing my reputation for what? Because like,
Yeah,
where is
Uh-huh.
this going? And then it went somewhere. Thank fucking God.
So the one thing you guys do on your podcast is like you always talk about like your mental health,
Oh,
which
yeah.
Grace is a crier. I've
Yeah.
been listening to your episodes. I like really
Oh,
think it's
thank
going
you.
so well. And
Thank you.
and yeah, you guys are doing amazing. And where's your mental health at today? Because I know you just came off a tour.
Oh, yeah. After that tour, I mean, are we on the same page right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we're just like deteriorating a little bit. And when we got into the cycle of like every single day, it's like it just drains me socially, and I feel like I have nothing left to give, because when we go on the tours, it's like non-fucking stop. Like the meet and greets, that is like the biggest drainage of my social battery, because I want to talk to everyone for as long as I can. I want to give
that
them
shit kills
everything.
me.
Yeah, and then it's
And
like
they're
the
3
party.
to 4 hours long. It's
Yeah,
like,
and then we really don't sleep because we have to do the party,
And you
then we
also
record
like
after.
can't sleep, even like alcohol and partying aside, your adrenaline after something like
my
that
gosh, I
is
know.
through. Like after my first live show, I didn't sleep for like 2 days.
Yeah,
yeah, you
it's
just
like-
pumping.
Yeah, like you're just adrenaline is like out of your body.
Yeah.
I get how, I always joke, I'm like, I get how like celebrities like Justin Bieber
Yeah.
and people like fall into these weird pill cycles where
my
they
God,
take like
yeah.
sleeping medicine.
No,
and
now I get it.
I get it so
I'm
much
like,
more.
I so get it.
Yeah, we're currently spiraling.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
Like,
in the past 3 weeks, we did 3 back to back. So we were traveling. Where were we? Colorado, Arizona, then fucking LSU, back to back to back. And now we're just like, fuck. I don't even feel like a real person sometimes. Like, I don't even know how to speak to people anymore.
Yeah. It's
feel
it's
like I'm
so
always in work mode.
tolling on like the mental too. It's
Yeah.
like
oh, beyond.
sometimes I look in the mirror, I'm like, who am I? Who is
know.
this?
It's like, also, I hate, because we like hate ourselves,
Yeah.
but like so many people love us, and it confuses the fuck out of me. I'm like, if you love me so much, like, why can't I like myself? And then it's just like, I don't know what's going on in my head.
That's a tough thing to play with.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like on social media feel that way.
Yeah. Imposter
You
syndrome
know?
a little bit.
Yeah, because like I always feel that way too. Or you know what my weird imposter syndrome thing is? Like I think other people maybe look at me and they're like, oh, you have a podcast or you have a TikTok, so you made it. Whereas in my head, I look at my peers and I'm like, they made it and I didn't yet.
I feel the same way.
And it's so weird because it's other people would look at me and think that, but I don't feel like I've done enough. Like I always feel like there's so much more to do.
I know.
And I'm like, my mentality that's really bad is like, when am I going to have my big break? And it's like, wait, I got my job here. I did, like
Yeah.
we've had our break.
Yeah.
So
I know.
why don't we feel like we've had it?
I always stress out that I need like a real job at one point in my life too. I'm like,
No.
all of my friends, I know
It's much too late for that,
I
baby.
can't.
Yeah.
There's just no way no one's gonna hire me. But that's where the OnlyFans comes to play. But when we do this shit, I'm like,
Stay tuned.
yeah, yeah, that's coming. But like I look at all my friends and they're like getting real jobs and they're like real people, and I'm like, we're never gonna be real people.
Well, I think you just pivot what you're doing to be less party centric and
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like mental health. Like you still do what you're doing, but you just pivot as you grow.
yeah, yeah.
When you're like when you're the brand, it just moves with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry so much because I think you're on these college tours and stuff now. So you're probably like, what's the longevity in
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
But whatever you do next, it will just be part of your progression.
Yeah.
I
that's
also
very true.
think like influencers and like this whole industry is such like the wild wild west.
It
Like,
is.
It is so new, and
Yeah.
nobody knows what the end goal is because there hasn't been an end goal for anyone yet.
It's really anxiety ridden. I don't think people realize to like wake up and, you know, people are like, oh, I'm shadow banned, I'm this, I'm that. You feel like your platforms aren't in your control and at any moment they could just get like taken down.
Well,
I
when
know.
TikTok was literally being talked about getting shut down, I was like, what the fuck's everyone gonna do?
I know. It's
That was-
crazy.
That was a
Horrifying.
crazy time.
That's why I'm happy to be like at Barstool with
Yeah.
the company. So like we're like comfortable. And, like if shit goes south, like we have contracts. we're
Yeah,
at a
it's
company.
different.
Like a lot of influencers will come up to her and be like, I don't know about this Barstool thing. You should just like be on your own. And she's like, no, like I have like job security.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
It's like you-
you don't know if you're gonna pay rent if you don't get an ad deal.
Well, that's the thing. You gamble, like I think it's not really talked about because most media companies don't really contract talent. Like this is I think we're one of a kind in the way we're structured. But what people don't realize is like, yes, maybe I'm making less than some of my peers, but it's a different kind of like strategic business move
Yeah,
that I don't know if people see. Like they're not on tour.
I know.
Like you have these resources behind you.
Yeah,
and-
we have so many things at like our fingertip, and like they
Yeah.
have to outsource for a lot of stuff, whereas like, we have anything that we need.
and
here.
also gives you some kind of structure.
Yeah, I like having like an office to go to. If I
Yeah.
was just like living in my apartment, like all the TikTokers do, and just making videos and being in your little cage, I would feel way less happy about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I would be like,
Yeah.
am I even doing anything? Is this a real job? Like this
Yeah.
feels like a real job.
Yeah, it's like a real job, but also like
Like not a real job at all. Like I could roll in here at any time of the day. Like I don't actually have to be here, but like at least sitting down and having a microphone and like a camera and like a producer, it just feels more real.
no, I agree.
I worked for Total Frat Move before this.
Oh,
and
did
I
you?
worked from home, and I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah, you are miserable.
I was miserable. I never left the house because I felt like I had to like be making like content like all day long for them, but I didn't have anywhere to go for it. So
Yup.
it's like nice to like come to a place and
do something.
do something.
Well,
and also not work for Total Frat Move.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I always say that I think like my contract came at like divine timing because it was like right when the pandemic was still happening, and I don't think I could have done another minute in my apartment.
Oh God.
Like
no.
I was losing my mind, and I would have moved to Miami.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I 100% would have done something so weird and rash. Like I was at that breaking point where I was like looking up Airbnbs for a few months somewhere else, and I was getting to this point where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I think like being forced to come into the office like really helped me.
Yeah.
It did. It felt nice to have somewhere to go. I was going back and forth from home all the time. I was like, am I gonna move back home? Do
Yeah.
I hate New York?
Yeah, I actually remember that now that you
Yeah.
say it. You were like back and forth a lot more.
Yeah, I hated
hated
it.
it.
I
It
hated
was-
the city.
Well, there was nothing to do. Now there's
There
too
was
much
nothing
to do.
and you were stuck in
Now it
your
doesn't stop.
you're stuck in a shoebox. You guys are making up for lost time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
So
so.
where are you guys on the therapy journey?
Well,
We need to make the first move.
well, we just got back from Louisiana yesterday.
I'm living on Brianna's couch.
Oh yeah. What's about that?
You know what's crazy? I just took in 2 people. My boyfriend of 3 weeks is living with me now, and so is Grace.
Oh, this is really healthy.
It's really fucking crazy.
Because
Just one
he
big happy
can no longer
family.
live with his roommate.
well, no, he moved out. His lease was up, and there's no apartments. Same situation
There's
with
no
Grace. They
apartments.
can't find places.
Also, must I say, great timing for you to hook up with the roommate that his lease just ended.
I know, right?
Because if they had to live together for another year, like that would be awkward.
I know. Well, they lived together for like they had another month, and the other roommate just never came back, and he
Okay.
left all the shit, and my boyfriend had to do everything. Such a little asshole. I'm like fair, valid though.
Yeah.
It's not
still,
that deep.
you're an
Like,
asshole.
yeah. Wait. Okay.
Oh no, the
There's-
best part about him moving all of his stuff out and like leaving a couple things, he just left Brianna's sleep when you're dead hat in his closet.
He
Just,
took
like, as
everything
an
out of
extra
his
fuck
room
you.
and just left my sleep when you're dead hat right on the top of his closet.
He might as well just had spray painted the walls. with,
I
like, a-
know.
I was like, you fucker.
That was kind of hilarious.
That was hilarious.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like
Subliminal.
It's like, yeah.
Fuck
It's,
you. Yeah.
it's so good. You should just took a picture of it,
I
like
did.
alone in the
Poor
in the
bastard.
corner. Wait. So why don't you move in with Brianna's boyfriend?
I put it out there.
Yeah, no, really.
I
they
could
might.
see it happening.
Because we were friends first.
Yeah, because I feel like you all hang out anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But
we're
is
all
that
living
getting too
together.
messy
Well,
then?
what's that?
Is it? Will that make things too messy then?
If
If
we
things
break
go
up.
south, yeah.
I
you
know
live with
that.
him.
I hate thinking about that. That's not fair.
Yeah, that does put you. Poor Grace.
I know. Another
one.
one. Another one gone.
It's a lose-lose for me.
No, yeah, there's really no apartments right now.
No,
It's like
nothing.
disgusting
And-
because I don't get it.
Like, I don't understand. Are people coming in and buying these and just raising them the fuck up?
I
Like,
don't get
who
it because,
can
like,
afford this?
as a 30-year-old who makes decent money, if I'm like, this is ridiculous, how is someone
I know.
in their 20s, younger, like, I don't understand.
I don't get how people are just fresh out of college and moving here.
I don't get it at all. It has to be their parents.
Yeah, it's gotta be
has
their
to
parents.
be.
But like,
My first apartment was like $1,600, and I thought that was so much money.
Oh my God, yeah.
And now they're like $4,000.
It's insane for nothing. You get nothing.
For a studios are going for
Location.
4K.
Yeah, but even like the locations, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't get this world is disgusting.
it's
$4,000.
It's unattainable.
My rent
I
went
feel
up
like I'm spending money like
$700 a
Monopoly
month.
money.
What's that?
My rent went up $700 a month.
That's
crazy.
insane. Do you
And
get
I'm-
notice when that happens?
Yeah, but I'm paying it because I couldn't move in this climate. Like,
Yeah.
there's nowhere to go.
Well, my landlord keeps calling me and telling me I need to move out. I'm like, what? And he's just like, I need to get in there. I need to move in there. He calls me again this morning.
Because he knows he can get more.
No, but he wants to live in there. And I'm like, dude, my lease. This is first off illegal, but if
Yeah,
you're gonna
that's,
call
like,
me every
wrong.
fucking
This guy
day,
calls her every day. Like,
That's
how you doing?
inappropriate.
You seem like you're doing really good. Can I get in there?
he's always like, I know you're good on money. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
I'd be like, I think it's inappropriate you're following me.
Yeah, it's like,
Sir,
it's
like,
crazy. I
He's
mean,
trying to take advantage of her, and
Yeah.
she's smarter than that.
yeah.
ew, I don't like this at all.
hate
I
this
know,
bastard.
it's crazy. But I'm like, now I feel uncomfortable living in this place. So I'm like, I want to
Yeah,
because
because you know he's in there and he has a key and like,
yeah. Also,
Ew.
like, I don't think he's creepy like that, but he's just like
But
persistent.
still, I don't like
Yeah.
it.
And now I'm like, at the point where my apartment, I moved in with. It was just such a different time when I moved in. Like it was
Yeah.
with my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Everything just reminds me of like this like time in my life I hated. So
Like,
I kind
it's
of want to
dark.
get out. It's
Yeah.
almost like a win that he wants me to move out because I want to.
It's like a purgatory setting.
Yeah.
I get that. I
Yeah.
had an apartment that had bad vibes, and like when I drive past the street, I like shudder.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
there's certain
"Ugh, I
places
don't
that
wanna
you're
go
just like,
home. Home is
ugh.
not home.
Like the last
Yeah.
apartment I just moved out of, bad times in there. I'm
Yeah,
happy
like
to get
you
out of
have,
there.
and then you
Yeah.
see it, and you have like PTSD to that apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy. I don't mind that I'm on the couch because that place was hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd rather be with a friend and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
feel happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't be alone.
We need to just. Could we do a Barstool content house?
We were talking about that when we were in LSU.
Yes.
We were like, imagine we just rented the floors above this and we all live there and it's like a fucking hype house.
That would be so funny.
Because
be
if
so
you
funny.
talk to a lot of people in the office, even
Oh, they would
they're
all do it.
homeless too.
Everyone can't find places. Yeah.
We should just get like a brownstone, like a 3-story like brownstone. And
Oh,
make
well,
it-
that's what my landlord keeps saying. You could just buy a building. I'm like, what are you talking
It's
about?
like, okay, I do well, but I don't think I'm
He
doing
lit-
as
he
well
was-
as you think I'm
yeah,
doing.
he was like, I bought this building when I was 22, 1.2 million. I'm like, okay, what?
this
He's
same
like,
building wouldn't go for 1.2 million, though,
I know.
sir.
And he's like, yeah, well, you just got to put 200 grand down. I'm like, who do you think I am? What do you think I'm doing?
Leave me alone.
And no, I'm not buying a building right now.
I'm not bad, Bobby, you baby.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I don't have an OnlyFans
Oh,
yet.
Bobby.
Bad Bubba.
It's like maybe if I start the OnlyFans, but like
Yeah,
relax,
you're
sir.
gonna pay for my
And he'd
BBL?
want to see that.
I was gonna say he'd be signing up real quick.
Baby palms.
Have you bought people's OnlyFans?
Oh yeah.
Just Trisha Paytas.
I bought a bunch of OnlyFans.
I buy them to
People
look
that
and then I
know, me too.
unsubscribe. But one time
I always forget to
I bought
unsubscribe.
I won't say because I don't want it to go viral. I bought someone's to see because I was curious, and then I kept getting emails like your OnlyFans subscription,
So
and it would pop up on my phone, and I'm
At
like,
work.
this
That's
looks
so
like I'm some
humiliating.
horn dog.
I
But
know.
I really was just curious.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what
you gotta
OnlyFans is.
dabble. You
Yeah.
gotta say.
Anyone that I see, I'm like
It's
a girl that I somewhat know, I'm like, I need to buy this.
It's never what you think. It's always way less.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to buy. You can just go on Reddit.
Oh.
No. That's bad advice, and the OnlyFans girls will come for your neck.
Oh, okay.
You must support.
I never
But
said
I
that.
You must
don't-
buy. You must support.
But I don't think it's usually on there. I think
Support
it gets
sex
taken
workers.
down.
Reddit.
Do you know Harry Jowsey did a sex tape
Really?
on OnlyFans, and it like didn't blow up because he's charging $200
And apparently it's nothing. Like,
it's just like
his
his
butt.
shadows.
Yeah.
What?
With
I
who?
heard some bad things about him this week.
Really?
Yeah, that he's a complete asshole.
Well, he was nice to me, but I got that.
Yeah,
It's
he
quite
was.
charming when he was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think people that are
I heard that he's only nice on camera.
this is really like bad of me to say, but I think like narcissists. I'm not saying he's a narcissist, but I'm saying people that are charming
isn't everyone
and stuff.
in this-
That makes sense. Like, yeah, you're charming and you're nice, and then
Yeah.
behind the scenes, you're like not.
American Psycho.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
think that totally checks out if he's that way. I don't know him personally, but like I think that's what a lot of people
So
are.
you're really good.
Oh.
You cover your ass.
Yeah, no, I think he's a narcissist. and
But
But
an
I don't know
asshole.
because honestly, I had one conversation with him,
Yeah.
and he was nice. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think that Josh Richards, that girl he was posting the blonde all weekend, is the girl
The
he
new
talked
one?
about?
I think so.
I think so,
because
too.
I don't know who she is, and he was like, "You're not gonna know."
And
who
she only
is.
has like 300K followers.
It's definitely her.
I thought so too. I
Can't
was
wait
like,
to talk to him.
I
about
was
that
like, this
tomorrow.
is for sure the girl he was alluding
100%.
to.
Is that a new form of charity?
What?
When you take someone
From 300?
from 300 and bring them up with you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I was
100%.
thinking? I'm like, you just changed her life.
Oh my god, yeah, 100%. I remember I introduced him to this one girl when we were in Miami. She had like 2,000 followers. Now she's an influencer. Because she posted one video with him, and then it was right after like the Nessa shit, so everyone thought that they were like
Oh, yeah, the
together
blonde
together,
girl.
and now she's a literal influencer. I'm like, this is fucking wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
It's really
Like she had like a real big girl job and like did shit, and now she's just living
Hey,
her
that's
life.
like you take that moment
I
and
know.
you run with it.
Capitalize.
Yeah.
It's fucking bananas though.
Yeah.
When
it is.
Josh Richards tags like you, Grace, and stuff, do you get a lot of followers?
No, which is funny. Like I thought, I'm also a charity case. I understand that.
No, I'm asking because Brianna's now been tagged so many times.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, it's like if I was with him and he tagged me, I'm curious what the return would be.
I never got followers off of it either.
Huh.
His followers just want to see.
They only
hot,
care if you're
sexy
in a
boys.
relationship
Yeah,
with him.
because they're so obsessed with him. They're like they need to go. Like they're in love with him. So they're like, if he's dating this girl, we must track every single move. And I audibly say
Yeah.
like I would never fucking touch Josh Richards.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck?
Why, obviously.
In my head, because I have this like image, it's just so obvious to me. Like
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
you're like a
He's
little
my
boy to
bro.
me.
Well, because when I think about Brianna, like when you had your boyfriend, like I was like, if I was Brianna and I was hanging out with all these TikTokers at her age, like I would be cheating on my boyfriend.
I know it's kind of crazy that I never did. It was
like
insane.
it's not
And
cheating, but
I
like
can attest to that. She really did.
I
never
100% believe that you didn't. Like,
Yeah.
and you already got into a new relationship. Like, you're not
I
like a
know.
clout chaser, but I think I would seize the moment. Is my
know.
point.
I know.
I know you went for another regular.
I like regular. I need to be in a relationship with like a person that's not on social media because one, if you're in a relationship with someone that's on social media, they're gonna cheat on you.
Yeah.
You're gonna be so insecure because they're gonna be
It's
hanging out
true.
with all these people, and also like it's a break from it. It's like my only like feeling of normalcy.
Yeah, I used to be a cleat chaser. What's it called when you go after athletes?
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Cleat
cleat
chaser?
chase. And I one time was on a business trip, which wasn't that great because I used to work in sports, and with like all these NFL players, and we went to the strip club in Atlanta. It's a wild story.
that's
Yeah.
in
Atlanta?
Good.
Oh, it was a
See some ass cheeks.
butt naked girl.
Yeah.
So my
Pussy out.
point is though, like all these guys,
Wait,
like
side note, I saw a fire breathing pussy stripper video.
Oh
fuck?
my god.
she actually shoots fire.
Shoots fire out of her pussy.
That's
but
her
keep
special little
going.
trick.
Yeah.
That wasn't
I'll show
happening
you the
there,
video
but it
after.
was wild. So I went to the strip club with all these NFL players, and I realized in that moment, like I will never date one of these people because they were all like, one of them's like, I'm Mormon, like I love my wife, smacking ass. Another one,
They cheat. That's what I'm saying.
like everyone, and then I
Every
wound up
single person I
like
met, I
hooking
see
up.
cheats on their girlfriend.
I wound up hooking up with this NFL player who
Yeah.
told me he didn't tell me he was single. I just assumed.
Yeah.
And then after, he's wearing a "What Would Jesus Do" bracelet, and like you know, like
Jesus
being
do?
like
would spit on you.
being like a Tim Tebow type, like one of those like holy. And I was like, oh. I said something like, I'm surprised how many people have girlfriends in the NFL. Like, you don't, do you? And he was like, I do. And I was like, ew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
they're
never,
all fucking cheating.
I've never been an athlete chaser, but maybe. Well, I'm in a relationship.
But they're just as bad.
But that's they're
Point
just
being,
as
though,
bad.
it's like the TikTok. Like, you
They're hot as fuck,
notice,
though.
you're like, I don't want to date these people because they're
Yeah.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
they're disgusting.
horrible people. Like all the
Horrible.
influencer guys that I've hung out with, they all are in relationships and they're like making out with girls.
Yeah. Like,
And like they're Snapchatting 60 girls. I'm like, dude, people really still use Snapchat.
I was
like
going to say,
that?
do you guys use Snapchat
I
still?
can't stand when people use Snapchat.
I think it's like immature.
I
Like,
think
cut
it's
the
so
shit.
immature.
Cut the shit. Yeah, I use it to post my memories or like look through
Yeah.
my memories, and I only post on my private story.
I literally deleted it because I noticed, and again, I'm older than you, so when we had Snapchat, it was like just like flirty, like nudes. Like people
Yeah.
would use it not to text. Like you guys use it,
yeah, people
like
use
to
it
message.
It's weird.
We
as fuck.
didn't.
Just text me, bro.
My little sister, she's 15. They only use it like instead of texting.
Their only
It's
form
like,
of
so- yeah.
communication.
and they also, they
Mm-hmm.
also, my little sister, like that, she's like the younger generation of Gen Z.
Yeah.
And she only has like all of her friends only have 5 pictures on Instagram.
Yep, they don't care
That's like
about
My
it.
cousin does that.
It's so
Uh-huh.
strange.
It's
or
different.
I think they care too
They
much.
care too much.
It's like too curated.
So if you
Yes.
post something, you have to delete something.
Yeah,
It's very
they care
strange.
so much about social media. It's actually really, really scary.
It's
That's so
scary.
sad.
it's like sickening. Yeah.
So-
I still have my
Meanwhile,
pictures
I
up
have
from
12,000 pictures
I
on
have
Instagram.
3,000 pictures.
I have like
I've
2K. I
never
had to
done
archive. I archived like 1,500 before I started here because I was like, I can't go in that influencer heavy. Like I looked like insane.
Yeah.
But I I've deleted my Snapchat because I noticed I would only use it when I was drunk to like flirt with guys. And I was like, I'm embarrassing myself. Like, why am I always drunk like snapping? So I just like got rid of it.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to me the way like other people, the younger you are, the more you use it as like iMessage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a huge thing in high school. For
Yeah,
me, at
for
least.
sure, for sure.
For sure.
Like the more streaks you had, like that was
Yeah.
cool.
I couldn't. I never got into the streaks thing,
Like
but
junior year, senior year of high school, like only Snapchat. Like my high school boyfriend, we barely ever texted. We literally just Snapchat.
Oh, the guy I lost
Streaks,
my virginity
yeah.
to. Yeah, I don't think I ever texted
Okay,
him.
so when I was
Just
in
Snap.
college, it's when BBM was big, Blackberries.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
BBM was our Snapchat. Like you would go to a party and like a hot guy on the lacrosse team would be like, "What's your pin?" And you'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like
That's
Parker. I'm
wild.
making that name up, like because you know the lacrosse boys all have
All
like weird
named
names, like
Parker.
Parker,
Parker and
Preston.
Bryce,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like Parker got my pin.
Oh my
And
God.
like, but you wouldn't have their number. You would
Yeah.
only have their pin, and it's kind of like Snapchat in that sense.
Yeah. See,
and then you could make like you could put like statuses up.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
BBM was huge for me in like 8th grade.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
heard about-
BBM
I've
was
never heard about this.
I've never either.
it was BlackBerry Messenger. It was before iMessage. And so we would do BBM and then Snapchat. I was in that generation where like I went from like having no social media to all social media. So I've seen every
Yeah.
part of it
I feel like yours
because
rapidly developed very fast.
so like
Yeah.
I had Snapchat in college
Like
too.
AIM to
I had Tinder in
BBM.
college. Like that's not that far off.
Yeah, that's wild.
But it's like we went from nothing to everything.
The best of both worlds, kind of.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
wild.
But then it's like kind of confusing, and you're like, "Fuck! I lived my whole life without it. Now it is the like bane
well,
of my
because I
existence."
did have we had internet. That sounds ridiculous. We had like AI in
yeah.
middle school, so we still always had it.
What
Yeah.
was
It
your
was just
username?
different. Oh, Italian baby 39. Yes.
I
Wouldn't
never had
expect
AIM.
anything less.
That's crazy.
Wait, and I also made one called Bambino instead of Bambina. I like did free translation for baby girl in Italian.
God.
And I made it Bambino, and my sister was like, "That means baby boy."
Baby boy.
Baby boy.
It's a
What's
baby
up, baby
wheel,
boy?
babe.
For like a month, it was like baby boy.
Baby boy.
I'm messaging baby boy right now. I don't know.
And then I switched it. Oh, good times.
Mine was actress at here 198 because actress at heart 198 was taken, and I just went with here.
Actress out here.
So you had AIM or no?
I
Yeah,
didn't.
I
I never
did.
did. I had MySpace, and then I went
Oh, I was-
fastly to Facebook, and I was just a big YouTube creep.
I was big Guido energy on MySpace.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
MySpace
top
was
8,
sick.
like when you
I was
go
like
to-
almost too young to like work technology though, so I
Yeah.
couldn't really get it down pat.
I was like in the Guido era. It's like before like Jersey Shore came out. We were in high school and like everyone would order like BB Sport
That's so
and
sick.
Hardtails and the Poof. Like
That is so sick.
it was before like Jersey Shore made Guidos cool. Like it was happening in New Jersey and I
Yeah.
was part of the movement.
That's insane. You're like the beginning of it. I almost bought like an Ed Hardy hat at fucking Urban the other day. And I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
bad.
think the poof's gonna come back this summer.
I was thinking that, and I'm like, no fucking way.
I
I'm
think
gonna
it
bring it
might.
back.
You know why?
It probably will come back.
Everything's coming back that I
Yeah.
grew up with. Like it's crazy. Like all the clothes in Target. I keep seeing TikToks. They're like what we wore growing up.
Oh my God, I know. And it looks like we went to Target when we were in Louisiana, and I made like a little shopping haul on TikTok after,
yeah.
and I'm like, this looks like I just went shopping at the children's place.
Yes, that's what my friend said. She's like, I'm having PTSD in here.
It's like children's clothes that we're all wearing now, which is like kind of creepy.
It's so weird.
It's
It's like
so
what we
weird.
used to buy at Limited 2. That's
Yeah.
why. What was Limited 2 called when you guys were?
It was limited
Limited
to, and then it did the transfer to Justice.
Justice.
Yeah.
Wait, this is such a walk down memory lane.
Limited
It's
2
so
was
weird
so
because we're
sick. I
not
could
that
never
many
afford it, though.
like years apart, but we are part of different generations.
I
So
know.
we've
Yeah.
experienced different things.
I
It
know.
is interesting.
It's weird. We hang out with like 26-year-olds,
Yeah.
and we kind of sometimes find ourselves being like, "Oh wait, we're like younger than you. And, like
Yeah.
you don't really get what we're talking about right now."
Yeah,
It's weird,
so,
but then we're like still best friends, so it's I don't know.
But I feel pretty in tune because I'm on TikTok and I'm like I'm with like I catch up with Gen Z, whereas
Yeah.
like some of my friends have no
lost.
idea
Yeah.
about anything.
I know that's the weird thing. I don't when I'm 30, like I hope I know everything.
You will.
Yeah, I don't wanna-
because
I
we're
don't
in
wanna
this
lose touch.
space.
I never want to be like, oh, I don't get that. I'm too old.
I think it's really.
slaying.
Do you know? What I think it's really embarrassing when people are like, I don't know how. Like, I think it's embarrassing when people that are quote unquote like starting to get older pretend they don't know what's happening with
Oh my
technology and
God.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't make you cool. You're just not
Yeah.
with it.
I know.
Like,
They're like, oh, I don't have time for that.
Yeah,
I'm
like-
like, what?
Like I can't be involved with any of that TikTok shit.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I've
okay.
never downloaded TikTok. You're
'cause
just
I
watch
came from-
Instagram reels of TikToks.
Yeah, I
You
came from the
freak.
Instagram like generation where a lot of people didn't transfer over to TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's like they thought they were too cool for it. And it's like, well, now you're missing out on a lot of money and like
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah.
for not like just
for
going
being
with
too
you
cool for
goof.
school.
Yes. I'm like, hello.
Yeah, grow up.
Grow up. Get with it.
Everyone's
Like-
on, my mom's on TikTok.
Yeah.
Get it.
I don't have time for that. I'm like,
No.
it's cool to know what's happening younger.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want to be in touch? You
It
want,
doesn't mean you have to be immature. You just
Yeah.
have to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, look at Dave. He does BFFs.
I know, and he knows everything now.
He knows more than me.
He literally knows everything.
When I watch the episodes, he'll be like, oh, yeah, like so-and-so. I'm like,
It's
what?
so funny because when we started, he knew fucking nothing, knew nobody's names. Like we could show him we showed him the same picture of like Quentin Riggs every single time we did Zoomer Boomer until he finally was like, I know that guy.
No, my favorite is the James Charles clips.
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna get him again this week because James Charles did another. He dressed up as a girl. It's so good. He's
so
kind of
excited.
catching on though.
Wait, so before we go, Grace, like now that you're full time here, like what is your shtick? Like what are you gonna do?
I have a couple of ideas. I have.
So you think you'll do something on your own?
Yeah,
like
I want to do
podcast
like a
or-
little YouTube segment.
Oh, that's
that I
fun.
have this little idea for. I don't want to say it yet, but
Yeah, you don't
it's,
have to.
It's in the oven. It's cooking.
Yeah, it's cooking up.
Yeah.
So something
the
like
kitchen.
you'll branch
Keep 'em
out and
guessing.
do your own type of thing too.
Yeah, there's a little thing I want to do, and I might a lot of people might get involved, so it's gonna be good. It's gonna
Ooh.
be something to look forward to, and I don't know why I'm talking like this all of a sudden.
All of a
Yeah,
sudden.
you know, I got some things in the works. Huh?
Wait, that's so fun.
Yeah,
Well, congrats.
thank you.
Where could everyone follow you guys, listen to your podcasts?
Planbury Uncut. It's on. I think it's better to watch it. I
Yeah,
think it's
it's
more of a
easy.
watch kind of a podcast. Every Tuesday we drop an episode, and TikTok, Brianna Chickenfry, Grace O'Malley.
Grace K. O'Malley on everything except for Twitter. Some little teacher grabbed that from me.
Bitch.
Ooh,
Yeah.
not a teacher.
Yeah, stay tuned though.
Fuck them
Podcast
kids.
popping off. So
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining me.
thanks
Thanks
for
for
having
having
us.
Okay, guys, since this is going to be a long episode, we're just going to do 2 Ask Alyssas today. And this one has a lot of details, so let's get into it. Hi, Alyssa. I love the pod and think you've built a great community. I was hoping for your advice. Sorry it's a bit long, but wanted to fully explain the situation. At the beginning of the pandemic, I set up my girl best friend with my best guy friend. They hit it off and have been together ever since, which is so great, and I'm so happy for them. She's a super busy girl with a hectic schedule and limited free time. So naturally, most of this time ends up going towards her boyfriend. I found myself struggling in some ways because a lot of the things I used to do with her, like random weekends away, nights out in the city, etc., she now does with him instead. And it sucks because it makes me feel replaced. When I do ask to hang out or to go out to dinner, etc., she usually already has plans with him, and sometimes they ask me to join their plans. But to be honest, I don't want a third wheel all the time, and it's just not a great feeling. On top of it, all our group activities have kind of become couples activities with like 3 to 5 couples plus me. Although I want to spend time with my friends, I hate being the only one alone. And if I don't go, I miss out. I've never been self-conscious about being single, but this has made me feel that way. And it's become so exhausting, and I don't know if it's a me issue. How would you deal with this situation? Third wheel or not go? P.S. I've made comments like, oh, it's okay, I don't want to ruin your date, or I don't want a third wheel, let's do something us two another night to try to hit I want something separate. But since they're both my best friends, they feel like I'm being ridiculous or not being down to hang out, the three of us, and I feel like I'm excluding blah, blah, blah. For context, female 27, clearly single. I totally get this.
Yes.
I think you're like so valid, but I also think you're at that weird pivotal stage. When I was like 26, 27, 28, 29 was during the pandemic, so it didn't matter. I really felt this way because you're at this pivotal stage where although you're all in your 20s, everyone's going at different paces. So like some people could be 27 and like newly single for the first time in years, or you could be like about to have a child, or you could already have kids. So you reach, and you'll notice when you get to this point, like you reach this weird like
I don't wanna
thing with your friends where you're just like, we're all doing different things, and it's a really like unsettling time. Even my friends that were the ones in the relationships felt that way because then they would see us being single and be like, what the hell? Like, I'm moving, but you're going out. And like, it's really confusing no matter which stage you're in. So I think your feelings are completely valid. But when I talk to my dad about this stuff, like a male's perspective, he's always like, yeah, no, like your friends, they're in a relationship, like you're deprioritized. And like, it's kind of like mean to hear. And as a girl, you want your friend to make time for you. And I've been lucky enough that I've had friends that do make time for their girlfriends still, and then I've had friends that don't. And you just start acting as a unit, and like it makes sense that you want to do coupley things and like be with your person all the time because you just like from this point of life, I feel like start acting as a unit. And some people don't. Like
it's very hard. It's hard. I feel like for her, it seems like she doesn't have single friends.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So like when me and my boyfriend go out, like we'll go out with our friend group. So like there's a mix of people that are in couples and or single, whatever. And it sounds like she doesn't have that, which is that would be annoying because I have been in her shoes before where like all of my friends have boyfriends and I'm just like
Do you know what I did though? I made party friends.
Yeah.
Who I'm not friends with anymore.
Yeah, that's literally what I was going to say. You just have to find like I don't know, maybe like friends from college or something. Just hit up old people that you haven't talked to in a while and see like if they would want to go out with you, and you can have that time to party and do single stuff, and then get dinner with your friend and her boyfriend. Like I know you don't want a third wheel. It's annoying and you kind of feel like lonely, but when it's so hard to be in a relationship and not want to do everything with your boyfriend. So just go out to dinner with your friend and her
Honestly,
boyfriend.
if you're so close with them, it might be nice too to be vulnerable with them. Like if you go out to dinner and just be like, guys, I know sometimes I say no to stuff like this, but to be honest, like it just makes me like feel really lonely.
Yeah.
And I think if you're honest with them, maybe your friend, they'll go home and maybe your friends will be like, wow, I really like have been neglecting our friendship.
Yeah.
I kind of think it opens up room for like that type of conversation.
She said that she like reached out and was like, I want to do something. And yeah, that's weird that her friend like isn't down for that.
People put their people.
I know.
They don't
I
care.
hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that. If you can't just at least get a dinner with a friend without your boyfriend coming, that's kind of wild. But like if you really think this girl's your best friend, like your ride or die person, like you just kind of got to sacrifice a little bit of your own feelings in order to like hang out with her. But I think if she's not willing to like sacrifice stuff for you, then it's not a reciprocated friendship.
I just think people get so caught up when they're in relationships and so in love that they can't see outside of themselves.
I know. And then like, what if they break up? Like, she's going to come running back to you and be like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that I've neglected this friendship. You just have to, I feel like, do what makes you feel like secure in yourself. So if you're feeling shitty, like going out with her and her boyfriend all the time, then maybe it's time to kind of try to branch out and meet new people.
You need to make party friends. Like, I made a group of like New York City friends who I would like go to the Hamptons with and go to bars with, and we're not even really in touch anymore, but it filled that like void in my life where I just needed people to hang out with. And it was great. Yeah. So I think you need to try to make a separate group of friends that has similar interests as you right now. Okay. Next one. Hello, I am in need of some advice. I'm 20 in college, and I've been with my boyfriend for a year now. Last summer, he cheated on me with his ex. We were able to get past it, and I forgave him. He was genuinely remorseful and very upset with himself. We both came into our relationship fresh out of a breakup, and I don't think he ever fully got closure with his ex. It's been a year of us being together in college, and it's been great. Our communication has gotten better, and he has built up to my trust and faith in him. However, with the summer approaching, I'm just worried about our communication long distance, and I really hate that his close guy friends know about what happened last summer. Do you have any advice on how to make long distance work and not care so much about what others think? Love you in the pod.
Yeah. I'm in a long distance relationship. Did she say how old she is?
20.
Oh, okay. So.
But he cheated on her.
Yeah. That did not happen to me.
Yeah.
Thank God. I have my stance on cheating, like, is very ebbs and flows, you know? Like, sometimes I'm like, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater.
Same.
And then sometimes I'm like, well, actually, people can learn and grow from it.
Yeah, because she's making it sound like they really grew.
Yeah. So I think this will be like the ultimate test.
I think my only like thing with hindsight, and when I was 20 and in college and in love, like I didn't feel this way. So putting myself in your shoes, I understand wanting to make it work. Now being 31, I'm like, if you're cheating at 20 and like you're already having these issues, like what's that say for your long-term like future together? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but when I was 20, I was like also kind of like more lackadaisy, and she's young. I think you give it a chance.
I think totally give it a chance. Yeah. Again, like I think this will be like an ultimate test. Like if you guys can get through. You're 20, so either she's graduating.
I'm laughing at myself because when I was that age in college, I had a boyfriend from Canada, and I remember breaking up with him before summer because I was like, I can't like see him this summer. Yeah. And like but that's how I just knew that wasn't like my husband. Yeah. But if you feel like it's worth doing long distance for, I think if you guys have moved on and you've built trust, like at least try it. And who gives a fuck what people think?
Yeah. And you graduated college when you're 21, right?
Yeah, like soon, so
I feel. You're only doing long distance. Yeah, 22. Yeah. You're only doing long distance for 3 months. Yeah. Like barely. Like I went back to school in August. So like.
Yeah, can't you just plan trips to see each other and make it like a thing where you stay with each other for like a week at a time? Yeah.
I totally think like if you want to make it, if both of you want to make it work, then you'll make it work. You know what I mean? Like. When me and my boyfriend literally started dating, and then like 2 weeks later we were doing long distance because he had to go back to school, and we just made sure that we were both. He put in so much effort to come and visit me like all the time to just like make it work. If he's gonna put in the effort, then fuck it. Might as well try. There's no harm in trying.
I think so too, because you've come so far, and like you've built so much trust that it's worth trying, because I think you'll feel like things are left unfinished if you don't. Like if you break up for the summer, you're just going to start hooking up in the fall again.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're going to be mad because you will have hooked up with other people in between. Yeah. Like you might as well try.
Yeah, exactly. No harm in trying. And then you don't want to like be coming back to school in the fall and be thinking, oh, what if we stayed together, blah, blah, blah. So just see.
Worst
that can happen is ultimate heartbreak.
Oh, the worst that could happen is you are gonna break up and like you might anyway. Like this might not be the man that you're gonna marry at 20. So either way, either you're gonna break up or end up married. So
yeah, literally.
I got a 50-50 shot here.
Fuck it. Might as well just try.
All right, let's spill the tea. So I watched some of the Abercrombie & Fitch documentary, not the full thing. I watched it on the plane, and I took Xanax for my flight, and I was like I kept like watching it, like closing my eyes, watching it, closing my eyes, and it didn't feel compelling enough that I had to watch the full documentary. Like it wasn't salacious enough. Like
I heard that it wasn't that good.
It was fine.
Yeah,
but it made me have an awakening that they are partially to blame for me hating my curly hair. Which is so weird to think about, because not just Abercrombie and Fitch, because I feel like I was more the age of Hollister, which was one and the same. And I remember feeling like, oh, I can't work there because I don't look all American. Like they made me feel so Italian looking, and I had this like gelled curly hair, and I remember being like, I look too like Italian, or people thought I looked Hispanic to work at a place like this or to wear these clothes. Like I looked like a fraud in these like collared preppy shirts. And in hindsight, like watching this documentary, I was like, those motherfuckers, like they made me feel that way. And I didn't even realize until I'm like a full-blown adult watching back how much they like attributed to people not feeling like American. It's so weird. Yeah, so I had this like realization, and I was like, if I feel this way, I can't imagine how like people of color feel. Yeah. Because like I'm a white girl with curly hair. Like imagine not seeing yourself represented at all. And I'm happy that they pulled back the curtain, and I know the brand has different ownership now, and they're doing things differently. And I actually think the newer brand is like way better. Totally. But I was just like, holy shit, this is bringing up like childhood trauma that I didn't even realize I'd buried for years. Also tonight is the Met Gala, and which sucks because I record on Mondays, episodes come out Tuesdays. So it sucks that I can't do this Tuesday and we could talk about the Met Gala looks, but I did post a TikTok prediction that we think Kim K will be wearing a Marilyn Monroe dress, and someone commented being like, she better have blonde hair. And I think that would be sickening if she does the blonde hair.
Totally agree. I love when any of the Kardashians go blonde.
Love.
Besides Kris. Ooh. Kris went blonde for the camp theme.
No, Kris with the berries and cream bob in the interview.
I know. Who's doing her like that?
What made them think to tuck it behind her ears?
Yeah, I don't know. They did her so dirty.
That was wild.
But like when Kendall went blonde, she looked so good. Kylie blonde looked so good. Kim.
What do you think about, like, I was shocked that Pete and Kim made their red carpet debut at the White House dinner before the Met Gala, because I thought the Met was going to be their like break the internet moment to walk the carpet together. Yeah. And then they just like did it at a White House correspondents dinner, which I mean, they were like sickening. They looked gorgeous.
Oh my God.
But I was just like kind of shook.
Yeah. Maybe it's like I kind of take the pressure off the Met.
That's what I was thinking.
I feel like Kim gets anxiety very easily. So I feel like she probably was very anxious about like everything that has to go that's involved with the Met. So maybe just to take off some of the pressure, they're like, let's just do it for the White House correspondent.
Yeah, I was thinking they were kind of like, let's not make this Met like this big moment because it's predictable at this point. Yeah. Like, let's just do it before. Yeah. She looked her body.
Oh my God, she looked phenomenal. It's
because she's trying to fit in this Marilyn Monroe dress.
She looked phenomenal. And Pete, like, They must have given them their spray tan person because he had the most color in his face I've ever seen in my life. Like he always because he has Crohn's or whatever, so he always has like that naturally like just pale kind of like flush skin, face. Yeah. So he looked really healthy and glowing, and I was like, so hot. Wow. Yeah, he looked. Yeah.
Like them together is just
Did you see that video of him like protecting her in the elevator?
Of course. I like really like ship. Like this is the thing though.
He's so tall.
Part of me is like, is he a love bomber and is this gonna crash and die? Yeah. And then part of me is like, I want them to be endgame, but I don't feel in my necessarily like their, like I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I know.
But I want them more than ever to be happy.
They are Endgame. He gives me Love Bomber vibes.
He gives me vibes like it's like he burns fast and then fizzles.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm wrong.
I know, me too.
Like, I want them to be happy. I want Kim Kardashian to be happy more than him. I don't care about him as much. Like, she deserves it.
Yeah, I agree.
And, like, I just don't know if I believe it. Like, the whole rumors that he has that tattoo on his neck with her children's initials is circulating. And, like, part of me is like, my sister made the best point. She's like, as a new mom, the thought of, like, Justin, her husband, she's like, the thought of Justin's, like, if he had a new chick and she tattooed my kids' names, I would kill. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Like, picture you start dating, your ex starts dating this new person, they get your kids' names tattooed. Like, I would be livid.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, that's a lot.
When she explained it through that lens of, like, being a new mom, I was like, I get it. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I know. I didn't like that. When I saw that, I was just like, come on.
I feel like he's in his head. I think he's like, this is my commitment to you and your family. It's branded on me.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. All right, we will be back next week. I am wearing the new Mood merch. I don't know if you could see it because I have this microphone on my face, the laptop up. But new Mood merch and Let Me Live merch is dropping soon. And this is why I really need you guys to buy it, not even to like beg and plead. I want to write a book, okay? I have an idea. I'm working on it. A tabletop book. And basically the merch department was like, until you sell X amount, we can't come out with the book. We need to sell my merch so I can write a fucking book because I really, really, really have like this amazing idea. And you know me, I'm the manifesting queen. I'm going to write a freaking book. So I need you guys to help me and support me. And by the way, the merch is like super cute and comfortable anyway, and I'm obsessed. But anyway, thank you guys. Help me write a book, and I will see you next Tuesday.